So let's talk about jumbo loans.
Let's do it.
This is a very popular subject. I get asked this question all the time with rising home prices. Mm-hmm. So what does a jumbo loan look like? What makes it a jumbo loan?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So any loan amount over the conventional max loan amount of 548, so 548,000 is considered a jumbo.
Okay.
Right? And this is loan amount, not sales price.
Right.
So let's talk about some options when it comes to what they consider a jumbo loan, right? Some banks are going to say you have to put down 20%. That's not really true. There's a lot of lending options when it comes to jumbo loans.
Yeah, that's a big misconception across the board. Everybody thinks that they have to put down 20% to buy a house.
Huge. And we've seen that in the Houston area really become a topic of discussion because the home prices are going up as fast as they are, that a lot of homes are falling under jumbo loan limits that a year ago, 2 years ago, wasn't as much of a topic.
Right. Well, and another thing, I had this issue with a client is they were putting offer on a house, and of course they needed to increase their offer. And when they increased their offer, it took them from a conventional to a jumbo loan. And so they weren't able to increase the offer and couldn't get the house.
Right, because it's two different worlds.
Right.
So you really have to know, hey, I want to buy a home in 500,000 under, or I want to buy a home of $1 million.
Right.
Because if it's something close, you really need to know what your options are. So let's talk about some options. So when it comes to jumbo, now jumbo loans have gotten much more aggressive than they were. So there's really two major ways to structure them.
Okay.
All right. One is you can put down 10% on a jumbo loan. Okay. So if you're a bank or your credit union is telling you 20%, that's a bad bank to deal with for your loan.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right away, you know they don't know what they're talking about.
We'll get into that later.
Absolutely. So first is 10%. A jumbo loan with 10% down is not going to have mortgage insurance.
Okay.
But it is going to have a slightly higher interest rate than maybe a non-jumbo loan.
So on a conventional or FHA, if you put down less than 20%, you definitely have mortgage insurance.
Correct.
But on a jumbo, that's different.
Correct. On a jumbo,
Okay.
It would not. So that's a benefit to jumbo. Yes, the
Okay.
rate may be a little bit higher, but you're not having mortgage insurance.
Okay, got it.
So that's one. Now, this is the additional one that I get very excited about, which is you can split it up into two loans.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? So on a home of, let's say, $750,000, you could put down 10% and do one loan, one jumbo loan, or break it up into two loans. So maybe do a $500,000 first mortgage, and I'm probably making up some math here, but a $200,000 second, put down 5%, and then that's how you would get even a more aggressive jumbo loan option.
So when you're splitting it like that, does it mean that you've now got two conventional loans because they're under that 548 limit? Or is it still a jumbo?
Well, no. So the first loan would be considered a conventional loan. So you're very vanilla, boring, straightforward type loan. The second
the
loan
best
is
kind.
the best kind, right?
Yeah.
Nobody,
no excitement, no surprises.
Yep, exactly. Nothing exciting about it. The second one is going to have worse, slightly higher interest rate because it's second in line to that first mortgage. So those rates are usually in the 5s to 6s.
Got it. Okay.
But there's a lot of layers why I like that option, because if you aggressively pay off that second mortgage, you're only left with the first, right?
Right.
Maybe you're selling your home down the line, well, then you could pay off that second. Or you have a bonus coming, or inheritance, or you got.
And you can knock out one of the mortgages, and then you only have one left to pay off.
Correct. So before you fall in love with either option, and multiple times a month I'm closing jumbo loans and two loan options. Don't fall in love with where you think you know which one's best. Make sure your lender is giving you every option.
Right.
And then really look at it and say, okay, I really like this one. Here's why. Or we may move in 5 years. Well, then that could affect which option you want to stick with.
Yeah, because some of them you don't even reap the benefits for more. Like you've got to live there for more than 5 years for it to be beneficial to you.
Exactly. So don't, many banks, many lenders are just going to say, here you go. This is your option. If they're not taking the time to walk you through your true options, you got to find a different lender, especially if you're in that price point. That's a lot of money.
Well, one of the things that's different about you since I've worked with you is, and other lenders, it's very rare for a lender to say, here are the options with an S.
Right.
It's usually, okay, this is what's going to happen. And I can get on the phone with you anytime and you'll say, well, we could move this around and make this happen. So that's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, and you and I have dealt with clients in this price point multiple times, that if you're able to buy that home, you're in a very unique situation financially.
Right.
So they're already financially savvy clients to begin with. They want to know their options. They don't want to be told. They want to say, hey, we've got this option, this option, this option. Here's my opinion.
Right.
And then open up the discussion.
Yeah, and it's also because they have the experience that they can make the selection on their own. They can see the different financial options and obligations and benefits, and then they can make that decision.
Right. They didn't become successful accidentally.
Exactly.
Right. They know what they're doing financially. That's how they got there.
Right.
They want their options.
So I just know that whenever someone's looking at a home in this price point and they need to finance, and I tell them, hey, it's going to be this, if you're buying in this price point, more than likely you're going to need a jumbo loan. A lot of times it just scares people. They hear that and they're like, whoa, what does that mean, jumbo loan? It just sounds scary.
Yeah, and it's not. They used to be, and or depending on the lender you're working with, they can be. They've gotten much better recently.
I feel like it wasn't that long ago that they were scarier.
Oh,
like
100%.
2-3 years ago.
I would say 2 years ago, they looked at everything to fine-tooth comb.
Mm-hmm.
Many times they would want a second appraisal done. They double-checked and triple-checked everything. Sometimes they took longer. I've actually closed jumbo loans in under 30 days now.
Wow.
And before, I'd prepare clients for 45 to 60.
Right.
And so it's becoming such a bigger topic in the industry that lenders are having to become more competitive and better at them than before. It was like seeing a unicorn, like, hey, I got a jumbo loan.
Right.
Now
Yeah, I
you can
rarely
off them.
would see that. I mean, I'd be looking through tax records and I'd be like, wow, these people got a jumbo loan when I'd look at the liens.
Yep.
My other question with that is, so you say it's the amount financed that makes it considered a jumbo loan.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if the jumbo loan limit is 548 and someone's looking at a house for 600, they need to put down, if they, let's say they're approved for 10% down, they have to put down 10% of the 548
Of the sales price.
of the sales price. But
Right.
okay, on a $600,000 house, 10% would get them under the jumbo loan limit because it would be
No, it would get them at 650.
No, just at 600.
Oh yeah, 600. Correct. Right.
So
yes,
that
ma'am.
would just get them there.
Right. So no. So
But if it doesn't get them there, they've got to pay the difference, right?
pay the difference, or do a jumbo, or do a second mortgage. Sorry, I wasn't following your math. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
So that's important too, is remembering it's not the sales price, it's the loan amount. So if you're buying $1 million home and you're putting down 500,000, that's not a jumbo loan, right?
Right,
That's
because
regular
now it's a conventional loan because you got under this 548.
Correct. So people need to know when they go to talk to their lender, many times I'll have a client ask me, hey, how much do I need to put down on a jumbo loan? Mm-hmm. That's not the right question. What you want to ask is, what are my options if I want to buy a home of 800,000?
Exactly.
Right? Is let the lender tell you, because the lender is going to answer your question and say 20%. Well, that's not true, because maybe you could do 10 or 5 or do 2 loans or do, don't shoot yourself in the foot by thinking that you're asking the right question.
Which brings us back to people always think that it's 20% down all the time and they just have so many options.
Yep.